Welcome to yet another small episode of the Sigma module. This is the final one, and this is Rupam's Mundus Novus. So the new world, and this time I'm not going to talk about any other thing, but I'm going to talk about the same concept that we have just introduced to you. And we will talk about what not to do while wrangling the data. So what are the things that we should keep in mind? We are going to see it in this particular segment. So let's quickly move on to the demo part of it. So I will primarily take you to the same location, which is our sales performance data, and I will take you to the transform data option. So here, the main purpose of bringing you here is this. So primarily, if you notice over here, we changed, if you talk from the perspective of, let's take an example, the products or the order details primarily. So we had actually seen that there are some data. So if I just go with this fact orders primarily, so we can see there are these dates, order date, and you can see that automatically the data type is selected. So if you see over here, these are the data types of Power BI, be it decimal, be it whole number, percentage, date and time. So the Mundus Novus is this. Imagine you have a column which has got date and time. Now date and time actually takes 16 bits to keep one data point. Now here also we had the same thing. We had the date and the time. Now we realize that the time is same. I mean, in terms of all the records, it is all midnight data, which is, let's say, 12,000, like this. So if all the components are same, in that case, there is no need for having this simple time factor. So from date and time, we converted it into date. You won't believe every data point, every single cell, we have saved 8 bits of data. Imagine we have got millions of records. How much we have saved from one column altogether. Now, if you might say that, okay, what's a big deal? I mean, what you will do by saving this? Now let me take you to a different segment. You know that all these data requires storage. Storage requires energy. Now, if you talk from the perspective of I'm just being very, very innovative, and I'm taking it to reduction of carbon footprint. You know that to store this, you need energy, and for energy, we have carbon, requirement of carbon. So carbon footprints are generated. Now you say that, you know what, I mean, suppose you are working or you are taking consulting from my side, I will say that, you know what, I can see right now your data storage is, let's say, 50 MB or 100 MB per day or per minute or something. By just doing the small changes, looking at the data types over here, what I will do is, I will simply tell that from 100 MB, I was able to remove 20 MB, and now it is only 80 MB. So which means that now I have reduced 20% of your data, which means that we can immediately calculate how much is the amount of carbon that is generated as an emission to store that 20% data, and I can say that we have actually generated carbon neutral options, or we are going to net zero actually. So we are actually increasing our, while increasing digital footprint, we are reducing carbon consumption as well. So I'm seeing from that perspective. So, it's very important we understand all these data types, be it date, time, duration, and something. So one important thing when we talk about, this is also the Mundus Novus. So when we talk about this date, sometimes you might see that the date is considered as a text within the column. And especially that happens when you have got CSV or Excel file. What you need to do is just go to this option which says using locale. And then from using locale, what you need to do, you just define that this is not text, this is actually date. And then you say that this is actually US date. If the data is US data, so you can call it like this. Or if it is UK data, you can make the changes and simply say OK. So this is, actually we have seen this is a problem in some of the data sets. So I'm giving you this trick. And with that, we are actually closing the Mundus Novus for this module, and by this we are actually coming to the end of the Sigma module. Thank you so much for being with us. In next module, which is the most important segment of this part, which is the data analysis expressions part, building up of the DAX, building up of the actual model, building up of the measures. This is what we are going to see. Now that we have got the prepared data, the connected data, the completed data, the wrangled data, now it's time for us to build on the measures on top of this. Thank you so much. See you in the next module.